Hey everyone, my name is Drew Hill. I graduated from Truman in 2015, and while I was there, I was a proud member of the Newman Center. As cliche as it sounds, Newman really was my home away from home. It is where I met my best friends, people that to this day are a huge, huge part of my life, and it's where I made the best memories in all of college. It usually pertained to Newman in some way, either doing something with my friends that I made there or happening within the walls there, whether it be table soccer or a movie night, or even just being there for mass and being present with everyone. Um, Newman really was the most special place for me in college at Truman. And more importantly than anything, it is where I grew in my faith more so than any other time in my life. Uh, I was pushed and inspired and motivated by so many people there, uh, peers that were so on fire with their faith in a way that I'd never seen before. That made me want to be at that level and to learn more about my Catholic faith. And it inspired me to grow more. And without that experience, without those people that I met, I wouldn't be where I am now in my life or in my faith journey. And that's why I'm devastated that you guys are missing out on this time together. Um, I am glad that I was able to cherish every moment that I had at the Newman Center. Every second, every experience. I didn't want to take it for granted, and I hope that you guys aren't taking it for granted right now. Um, I'm really sorry for you guys. I'm sorry that you guys don't have this time together, but that doesn't mean that you can't still come together as a community. And I hope that this series of speakers helps you guys stay connected, um, and helps you guys stay in touch with one another and stay on track. And I have no doubts whatsoever that you will, knowing the Newman Center, knowing the people that it it has. So I'm excited to be here with you all and just to share some perspectives, share some experiences of mine. Um, I'm going to start by talking about the one person in my life right now that inspires me more than anyone. It's not a friend. It's not a coworker. Um, it's not somebody at my church. It's actually my 2-year-old niece. Uh, she is in an incredibly awesome stage in life right now where she is learning so much. It seems like every single time that I see her or talk to her, right now that's exclusively over FaceTime. It just seems like she's gained something new. She's learned something more than she did the previous time. Um, and she's starting to gain this independence, which is really awesome to see that, whether it's learning new words or, just getting this better understanding of life. Um, and also just how pure her emotions are. I love that. Um, there's nothing more contagious than her smile and her laugh because it's real. There's nothing fake or hidden about it. Uh, if she's happy about something, she's gonna laugh about it. She's gonna smile. And one of the ways that she has been expressing that lately is through the game of hide and seek. Because what 2-year-old doesn't love a good game of hide and seek? But the thing is, we've been playing it over the phone through FaceTime, which is a little difficult, obviously. But it doesn't matter to her because to her it's as real as the actual hide and seek as if we were in person. Um, and so it's that pure just happiness that I can't help but not smile. Um, and then there's times when she's upset and she will let you know that she's upset. Um, and I admire that too because that's something I think a lot of us struggle with is, if we're upset about something or we're in pain, we're hurting, we try to bottle that in. Um, and that's one of the reasons I admire her, is because of how openly she expresses who she is as a 2-year-old. That's her life. That's how she's experiencing things in that moment, and she doesn't hide it or fake it. It is what it is, and she'll let you know. And the reason I am inspired by that and I admire that is because that's exactly how I want to live my life in regards to my faith. Um, I want to live my life with that sense of pure joy, and amazement and awe that she has for everything. Um, and I want to share with you an image of my niece, and how I feel like that kind of pertains to what you guys might be going through in your lives right now as you're going through college. Some of you, I'm sure, are looking ahead to careers, and you're starting to map out what your life looks like. Um, to me, that's the equivalent to my niece holding up a whole armful of blocks, which she is very known to do. As she likes to play and build and do different things, and she will collect her arms filled with as much as she can possibly carry in those tiny little arms. Um, to me, that's the equivalent of you guys trying to balance all these things in your life. Um, whether that's classes, obviously grades, um, commitments. You've got your organizations that you're in to make your resume look good. You've got your social life that you're trying to balance. You're looking ahead at your career, applying for jobs. You're trying to balance all of these things. And for a while, you might think, okay, I'm doing pretty good. Like, this is pretty easy. I'm making by, not too bad. But then there are those times where my niece will have a little bit more than she can carry, and she's not the most coordinated little kid around the block, and she is known to trip over her own feet, and then everything just goes flying, and she is just in hysterics, crying and bawling her eyes out. I'm sure many of you have had moments where we feel like that, where we have all of these things that we're trying to balance and we're trying to uphold and manage and everything, but sometimes it takes just one little misstep and it feels like it's all coming crumbling down. And that can be very, very disheartening. It can be very discouraging, and we, in those moments, might feel like we're failing. But I think one of the differences between us and those situations in my niece is that she'll show her pain. She will show how upset she is by crying, and she will not do anything to hide it. Like I said, her emotions are very pure and very genuine and very real. Whereas I feel like the stigma as we enter into adulthood is you have to bury that pain. You can't let anyone show that weakness. You can't let anyone show how much you're struggling or how much you might need some help. And so in those moments where we do trip and fall and we feel like we're failing, we have to keep it within ourselves. We have to hold on to that pain. But just like we're in some ways like that 2-year-old, we might think that we're wholly independent and that we can do everything on our own. That's not true. We need help, whether that be from our friends or from other people. And what I've learned from my niece, it's in those moments of pain, she'll turn to her mom or her dad for comfort. And sometimes she might not be able to fully communicate, but it doesn't matter. She just goes to them, and they pick her up and they hold her, and they tell her it's going to be okay. They reassure her that we are here for you. We love you. And it's in those moments where in our lives we might feel like we're failing or that we fall and we cannot possibly balance everything. Our Father is there to pick us up. He is there to comfort us and let us know, I'm here for you and I love you. And so what I strive to do is to live my life with that childlike wonder in my faith, to be constantly amazed by the glory and the goodness of our Lord, to not lose sight of the simplicity in life. Just like the game of hide and seek, it's not an elaborate game that we're playing. It's as simple as me flipping my phone up towards the ceiling. To her, that's the most amazing thing, because then when I flip it back to my face, she's just like overwhelmed with joy. I want to live my life with that same sense of wonderment in my faith, where I'm not afraid to express that joy purely and openly at the goodness that our God has created. And on the flip side too, in those moments of struggle and pain, instead of feeling like we have to depend on ourselves and ourselves alone, we can reach out to our Lord and ask him, like, God, I need help. I need help. And it might not come in the form that we expect, but that comfort is there. And the most important thing with that is when you strip all of that away, he's the one that's there. Just like with my niece, she might be carrying an armful of toys, and when she trips and falls, she's not worried about the toys. She's worried about running to mom and dad for comfort. Just like when we feel like we can't possibly balance or add one more thing to our plate, if it all comes crashing down on us, it doesn't matter, because our God is there waiting with open arms to console us and to comfort us. And it reminds me of a moment that I actually had in college. As a matter of fact, I'm not making this up. I was walking to the Newman Center because, where else would I be going? I had this thought as I was trying to balance all of these things myself. I was involved at the Newman Center, and I was in APO, and I was trying to think of what I wanted to do with my career, and I had a job off campus and this and that, and I'm like, how am I possibly supposed to balance all of this? Like, I feel like I'm screwing up. I'm not doing a good job. I just had this image just pop into my head of what God must be thinking looking down on me right now. And it wasn't an image of disappointment or, wonder, like, what is he doing? It was more a sense of just like, look at him. He's trying. He's trying so hard down there. It's just like it's a sense of love and joy that I can't quite comprehend and can't quite articulate. And then I had the thought too of, what about in those moments of triumph and success? I imagine God looking down on me with just the most pride in the world. Like, that's my son. That's mine. I created him. So in those moments where you do feel like you're struggling, God is not looking down on you disappointed. He's looking down on you like a loving father. Just like there are times when I've seen my sister and my brother-in-law look at my niece when she trips and falls like, she did it again. Like, when will she learn? At times I feel like that's how God looks at us. Like, he might be screwing up right now, but he'll figure it out. But in those moments of triumph, those moments of success, he's right there, just beaming with pride. And so my goal in life is to live with that childlike wonder, because I know that God looks at me with that sense of pride that a father has. And I hope that this time is an opportunity for you to maybe hit the reset button, to slow things down a bit, to find that beauty in the small things that a child finds in things that they experience on a day-to-day basis. To find that pure, genuine joy. And just know that in those moments where you feel like you can't balance it, it's okay. It's okay if you drop everything. It's okay if you fall, because the Father is there waiting with open arms. Thank you all for listening. Know that you are all in my prayers, and I'm thinking about the Newman Center and all of you that are involved there, keeping it going strong. I know, and hopefully someday our paths cross and we get a chance to pray together in person. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, and just remember, when you guys are finally reunited, it'll be so amazing. Thank you, and God bless.